know she's Habashi. She's from Ethiopia. She's a black woman. I mean, we know that there's classism, a lot of racism, asabiya, that still exists, but the Prophet said to leave it, it is rotten. So we have to watch out for these things for our girls, right? So another thing is waiting too long. Like I just talked a moment ago, waiting too long about teaching the virtues of Islamic dress. When you want to wait till they're a teenager and it's mandatory that they wear it, they become a woman, their body has changed, and then you want to change up some stuff, they've already have their concepts and their ideas and their fashion sense has already been established. But if you get it before it happens, it's a lot easier. After it happens, now we have to go back into some of the belief strategies that we put out. Now we have to get to the pleasure and the pain principles. Now we have to be able to articulate why and how they should be doing something and being able to show them the pain. That's a lot more difficult than putting a beautiful khimar on your daughter, making sure you're dressed properly as a woman, making sure as a man you're making sure that your family is doing what they're supposed to do because you know you're that shepherd and you're responsible for your family members. So you have to be a man that is strong enough to recognize that our loyalty and allegiance is to Allah. So no matter how sweet the food is, no matter how sweet the woman is, no matter how good or brushed up they are, we're not going to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to obey the women. No, we encourage the women to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They should be encouraging us the same as we encourage them. All right? Because the strength of our ummah lies upon strong leadership. And leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So with that being said, men have a strong responsibility in this too. Into lowering your gaze. To showing that beauty lies in obedience to Allah. We know the principle in Islam. There's no obedience to the creation and disobedience to the Creator. And knowing that, our women must dress properly. Now, that doesn't mean because a woman dresses properly that everything else is okay. Her mental could be messed up. And I see this a lot. There's arguments about, I'd rather talk with sisters who aren't covered or aren't doing this than a sister who is covered because she participates in so much ghiba or so much gossiping and backbiting and bad manners and bad adab. And neither of those two situations are the masses, if you will. Yes, there's sisters that are covered properly that have bad adab. There's sisters who are not covered properly that should be covered properly, but because they're not, that's also bad adab. It's disobedience to Allah. So there's a conflict. You can't have good adab and then at the same time you disobeying Allah, clearly and openly. It really doesn't work. We are not the ones to decide what good behavior is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His message displayed what good behavior is. Aisha radiallahu anha said He's the walking, talking Quran. So what He did, we look to Mu'mineen for the women. We look at the women scholars of early days. We relate these stories to our daughters. We relate the powerful stories. And when we look at powerful women, we look at Khadija radiallahu anha. How did she come to marry the Prophet ﷺ? How did she send her sister to go see what's going on? How come he's not married? What's the deal? SubhanAllah. We have these ample examples, but we act as though we just want to perpetuate this same myth that our women, really can't do much. They can cook and clean and take care of stuff at home, which, alhamdulillah, is important. And raise a family, which is the most difficult job. However, we must empower and equip our girls to be leaders so they attract strong men. And we must attract strong men of this ummah if you want to attract somebody that's going to raise and continue to grow a family that is outstanding. You want to be average? Don't worry about anything I said. You want to be outstanding? That goes right back to understanding the circumstances that's going around and making sure you have Islam in your home, in your heart, and it's around you. And we're starting it when they're young. If we missed that time, maybe we weren't Muslim when they were young, so now they're older. Well, we have to do more work then. We have to break in, talk about the beliefs, find out what the motivations are, getting to the core. And we have to use that celebrity as that role model. We have to be the role model, right? Absolutely. We have to be the confidant. This is why this is X versus Y. This is how we do this here in Islam. This is why we do it. When we look at people in Jahiliyyah before Islam and see how they were and how they acted, how they partied and they kicked it and they drank, made tawaf naked and they did poetry like rap and all that stuff today, we can compare and contrast to today's society. and show the ultimate end of the people who did not accept Deen al-Haq. Right? We have that opportunity, alhamdulillah. Then we have to use those strategies to get through to their heads because that clay has become harder. So, subhanAllah. Now, again, fathers need to be men. Allah Ta'ala tells us clearly in Quran to save yourselves and your families from the fire whose fuel is men and stones. Allah Ta'ala again tells us clearly in translation what it means. Save yourself and your family from the fire whose fuel is men and stones. May Allah Ta'ala make us successful in that effort, in implementing these different strategies, and staying close and seeking the help of Allah Ta'ala, because surely only by Allah Ta'ala's mercy can we be forgiven and granted Jannah. Okay, so what I want you to do, inshallah, I want you to listen to the notes. I want you to read your notes that you took today and listen to what it's saying to you and take action on some of these strategies. Because verily, this is just part one of the dangers our daughters are facing. But I want you to go to outstandingmuslimparents.com/daughters. outstandingmuslimparents.com/daughters. Get the worksheet that we have designed for you. Learn a little bit more about the syndrome and put some action strategies in place for your baby girls. And if you don't have any baby girls yet, you have some teenagers, put these things in place and take action, inshallah. And inshallah ta'ala, you got some good stuff today. Remember, don't just take this intellectually, because a wish changes nothing, but a decision changes everything. We appreciate you being here and sharing with us. I'm Nadir bin Naseed signing off. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.